history, even if all you see is the made person, it started from somewhere. So allow yourself to be a beginner. Nobody starts being excellent. When you start small, always keep your eyes, on your growth plan or your business plan. What is that vision that you set for yourself? But always allow yourself to start small. And then, in terms of your growth plan, what plans do you have for yourself, and how are you updating that? Most large organizations have like a 10-year plan or a 5-year plan, and then work backwards. Right. But they know where they want to be in 10 years. It's very, very clear. If I were to ask anyone here, where do you see yourself in 10 years? And you can articulate it to the last, if it's by numbers and what have you, you've got something good, going for yourself. Let's not be, whilst it's good and you must have an annual plan for yourself, it's always good to think, multi-year, and then, work backwards from there. Last thing I'll say is, don't be insular. Yes, you've got something good going for you. You're probably the best in your field, but you can't be a local champion where you are thinking, even if, people are giving you accolades, you're this, you're fantastic, you've got to broaden your mind. You'll be amazed that there are at least 5,000 people out of all the 7.3 billion people in the world who are doing exactly what you're doing and even more. So attend programs, conferences where your target audience are. You need to understand your audience better. What exactly is it that would make them connect with you and what it is that you're offering? And you also need to know global trends and whittle it down to local trends. What exactly is happening in your field or in your area where you're going into, and what are the trends saying? What's going to happen in the next 5 years? If it's automobile, I was just reading something that it says, allow yourself to be a beginner. So the profession, and it is a profession, is the entry, but there are also ancillary or complementary services that you can add to it. So I started facilitating, and one thing also that is serving me very well as well is collaboration. So I have fellow coaches. When they get jobs that it's more than what they can handle, they call on other coaches, and I've been part of collaborative efforts like that. Currently, I'm with an international coaching organization, a 2-year contract, and we're working with a global shipping company. So for me, my quest for developing myself, and I could have easily said, I've gotten my credential, let me just continue with the business that I have here. But I think, what made me, what opened my eyes, to what was out there was a bid that a friend and I put in for with a UN organization, UNHCR, last year. And we put together the bid, and it wasn't successful. And they actually sent an email detailing what your scores were and why you were not successful. And they put in the organizations, 2 organizations that were successful. And when I saw that these were global companies that worked with other coaches, freelancers as associates, and they were getting the big jobs working with agencies or multinationals, and that really got me thinking that year one I need to change my entire business model. That it's good I can be a local champion here in Nigeria, and yes, Nigeria has 36 states. We're all still concentrated in Lagos and not moving elsewhere, but I want to be able to work regionally and also globally, and I had to change my perspective. And whilst I focused on one-on-one and virtual, not so much of virtual coaching, the organizations that I'm working with are solely virtual. There's a German company that is solely virtual, and this other one is a combination, it's a blended learning solution, and so it's both, it's digital, virtual, and face-to-face training that we have to deliver. So I had to change my business model, and so one has to be extremely dynamic and also understand what are the trends that are what are the trends, not just locally but globally. It's one thing for you to think that you've arrived, especially when money is coming in locally, but it's a different thing when you're earning your funds or your revenue both in naira and in FX. So I was telling Michelle when we saw over a week ago, and she asked that if I could come be part of this, and I said yes before I asked what exactly it is. So I actually am on the yes mission. I say yes to a number of speaking engagements, and then find out what exactly it is, and if it's something that I can, not if it's something that I can do, I then go and prepare for it.
Right.
So I say yes,
Right.
and then go and prepare for it. So in terms of challenges that I'm still facing, it's still the ones above. I thought I had actually researched very well in terms of what my business requires and what have you, and there I was. I went and paid for an accounting software, Sage, feeling very cool that when the organizations see my invoices, Sage, they will be really impressed and everything. And I paid. It's very painful because I haven't used it, only to find out that you have free applications, Wave, and what have you,
Right.
that you can use for bookkeeping and basic accounting stuff. For me, that was like a mistake I will never ever make again. And I remember when I was about to pay for it, it's like I have heard of all this application. I just thought, no, when they see Sage. I've used Wave 2 times. They've paid me. The one that I have paid for that I'm not using is not bringing in any. So when you're researching about your field or the area that you want to go into, don't let it be a one-time thing. Ask questions. If you're not clear, ask before you click that pay. If you want to pay for a service, ask and really, really find out. If there are no other quotes from Richard Branson that when someone gives you an opportunity, say yes and then learn how to do it. And my mantra, which I had on my wall, was, what I don't know, I would learn. And I felt, for crying out loud, how tough can sales be? You see, the potential in you, people seeing, something in you, and they're able to draw you out and, more or less like put you under their wings. But that doesn't happen ever so often. There are times when you have to walk up to the person, you're bold, receive a no, go to someone else who has the qualities that you're looking for, who's gone through the path that you're looking for, and ask the person, if the person can mentor you. And apart from that, there are organizations that have mentoring programs. Now, I don't know for men, I know for women. Yes, WIMBIZ, Whisker have established mentoring programs that you can apply for women, apply for and go through a selection process. But there are people, that you see that you can, request that they mentor you. Now, when the person is very busy or you don't have access to the person, but you can.
Awesome.
Not take it, don't be offended by the question. Yeah, but I noticed that in the marketplace, you have to work twice as hard as a woman to clinch the same goal that a man just practically works into. So how did you cope as a woman in this entrepreneurship?
Wonder what are the bills that I have to pay. I'm working out of home and what have you. But I am investing in myself so much. It's really for one to have an open mind, and you make sure that you want to develop yourself.